Hi everybody, happy Sunday. It has been requested several times and I've been mentioning my plans to make an updated collection video. So we're gonna go one by one and visit with the babies and see who I currently have with me in our nursery. Here we go. All right everyone, so in no particular order I'm gonna share the babies. This girl arrived here in June of 2023, the early part of June. She is a prototype. I don't buy dolls because they're prototypes, but sometimes I buy prototypes because I want that doll and I fall in love with that particular doll. So this is the Susie kit by Cassie Brace. She is the version by Sandra Angelkovich, but I may be pronouncing the sound of the G wrong, so I will be sure to include all of the information in the description below. She got here, she was supposed to be delivered on June 2nd. I had delayed her arrival because I was traveling. I was trying to travel out to see my dad before he passed away. I didn't quite make it, so she actually arrived a couple days, or the day after all that happened. So her name is Rae, R-A-E. So it's a slightly changed girl spelling of my dad's name in tribute to him. And I particularly was really drawn to happy babies. I still am, but I definitely went through a phase when things were a little extra intense, where the smiling and happy babies were really bringing more. I needed that, right? So I love her. I love her very much. She's awesome. Next up we have My Sweet Lulu by Joanna Kazmierczak. She was painted by Moon River Reborns or Reborn Nursery, Hollie Cook. She has painted hair, as did Rae. This doll has some of the most impressive hair painting I've ever seen. I know she's got this giant hair bow on right now, which isn't typically my style, but it came with this outfit, which was a gift to me from a friend several years back, actually. And her hair, I would definitely recommend looking at my photos on Instagram too of her. She just has some story highlights. You can see really well the 3D painting style. This doll went up. I got the email notifying me that she was posted on Reborns.com in Hollie's nursery, and that was a very quick decision for me. Lulu is one of those classic sculpts. Joanna has done a few of those that I cannot get out of my system. It's one of those dolls that poses perfectly no matter how you set her down. Incredibly realistic looking. We're zoomed out a bit. She is newborn size. Rae's about 3-month size. Her name is Lucille Monet, or Lucy Lou. And I adore her, love her very much. Next up is my absolutely gorgeous, handsome fellow, George Raymond. That's my brother's name. His middle name is my brother's name. He reminds me a bit of my brother when he was a baby. George is the Cameron sculpt by Laura Tuzio Ross. His artist is Clare Campbell. I found him on eBay and have since purchased 3 additional dolls from her. I have a total of, so 2 of them are left, 3 total from Clare in my collection, and 2 of those were customs. So George was not, and he was my first find. I love him. He is about a 3-month size baby. 0 to 3 month is what fits him best. And just another one of those super realistic sculpts. Definitely love the very light hair painting style, the hair very close to the head, so still a baby, not a toddler. Sometimes we do have toddlers of this size kit. They look a little older than their size would reflect, but so this is my George. Very much love this guy. All right, speaking of kits that sometimes might look a little bit older than their measurements might suggest. This is my beautiful Siggy Joie. Siggy is the Jupiter sculpt by Melody Hess. She was reborn by April of Reborns by Zebra. I did find her on Reborns.com when I was specifically trying to find a Jupiter, that version that I loved. So she came to me all the way from the French Alps, and she's got gorgeous rooted curls, and she's a little different. Again, details not always the best on the video here, but you can see her teeth inside of her mouth. In fact, the roof of her mouth's incredible. But her teeth were custom placed, created and placed by her artist, April. They are made of polished glass. They were placed through the inside of the sculpt, and then she used 3D like modeling stuff to build the gums up around them, and she's phenomenal. I love the little curled toes on this sculpt. I love the little curled toes on this sculpt here. I love her happiness. Again, joyful babies really have had a lot of my attention this year, and she was definitely a part of that. So I love her. She wears, she's about, she could do 0 to 3 or 3-month size. This is a 0 to 3 outfit, bodysuit and bloomers from Kate Quinn. I think it's Kate Quinn Vintage. I got secondhand off of a friend on Instagram. It's about the threshold of where I'd want to see her. So she can also do 3 to 6 months, but she is just awesome. And by the way, that artist is awesome as well. And like I said, she's on Reborns.com, and she is on Instagram a bit, and she's on YouTube. She shares a lot of her life and her art and her process on YouTube. So that's Siggy. Next up, and a little bit smaller, is my Eliette Maeve, which is the Laura sculpt by Bonnie Brown. We can actually come in a little closer to her. She is a much smaller, about a 20-inch newborn size if you haven't experienced the kit. She was reborn by Riley Lee of Riley B. Reborns, who also is a fine artist, not just a reborn artist. She's another one of those beautiful sculpts to me that just never gets old. I still ogle over so many versions of the Laura. She's got beautiful rooted hair. She came to me from Korea. The lighting's a little bit funky right now, but she is absolutely gorgeous, curly, very poseable. A lot of times recently, I have taken the diapers off of my dolls, unless an outfit really is complemented by that extra kind of volume, or if they're just wearing a diaper, because I do find that it makes their limbs, makes them more poseable in a lot of cases. And so that's the case with her. She's got a beautiful like floppiness to her body. She is really the essence of peaceful baby. So that's Eliette. All right, we'll bring in a silicone. This is my gorgeous Audrey Remington, who is the Remington sculpt by Jorja Pigott. She is completely sculpted, poured and painted at Pigott's Playpen, and then her hair and eyelashes were rooted by Lazara Brito. She has painted eyebrows. She's gained a lot of interest. Her box opening here on YouTube. She's a very, very elegant baby. I adore this doll. She has been up and listed for sale for a bit now No real bites on her. I am actually about to wind down that sale process again. You know, it's purely financial, and sometimes you look at the investment you have in your dolls and it just feels like, you know, let's pare that down. So that's the reason for it. But she is a limited edition of 10 plus 2 artist proofs, and I haven't had her too long, but it's been 4 or 5 months, I think. She does not, so each Remington that Jorja does is a little bit different skin tone, different features. She has armatures in her arms, just up before the wrist, none in her legs, so her legs are very floppy and posable, and she can curl really nicely, and they dangle. You know, if you hold her up, they have that wobble. She has very long fingers and toes. All of her toes are separate. She has these very long, elegant fingers here. And she does not have an open mouth. A lot of the Remingtons do. This particular doll, Jorja opted to put a magnet in, which is super cool. So I just love my Audrey. The haircut, you know, Audrey Hepburn rocked this short brunette haircut for some time, and also to me it's a very elegant feminine name, which complements a little tomboy haircut or pixie haircut very well. Love her. And now we'll go in the other direction in size. This is my big girl. She is barely sitting in this Charlie Crane Levo rocker. She has not had a box opening here on YouTube, and to be honest with you, I will need to look up her artist name and just share that in the description. I had to zoom out to 0.6 magnification to squeeze her into the frame. This is Boo. She is the Cami sculpt by Ling Lau, and she is an authentic kit, of course. She wears 18 to 24 month size. She was created to share a likeness with Boo from Monsters, Inc. She definitely does that, especially when her hair is in pigtails. She is, let's see, 18 to 24 months. She is a happy girl. She's one of those dolls where, you know, to be honest, probably definitely paid a bit more for her than I would be comfortable selling her for. But I am really not hung up on that with her, because it was her energy and her like joy that she brought that caused me to buy her, and she definitely has that. So rooting is not, she's not micro rooted, her eyelashes are not micro rooted, but she is obviously, as you can see, she's adorable. So these larger kind of toddler sculpts, she has her neck comes down, she has a little chest plate that's sewn to her body, and her head is jointed on a ball joint, so she can wear clothes with a neckline, and she can tilt her head, turn it and tilt it, and it will stay. The Cami sculpt is just one of the cutest, prettiest toddler sculpts that I've seen. And of course, so I call her Boo, and her first name is technically Mary, because that was Boo's first name in the movie, and we kept it simple, no middle name for her. Her painting is nice. She is weighted really well. She sits and poses beautifully. So we love this girl. She is squeezed into like a 0 to 3 month size dress, but as long as, you know, I pay attention to the sleeves, it works. I don't have a lot of clothes for her, so I want to get more footed pajamas, the zip up footed pajamas that you put little toddlers in, because that definitely looks the cutest on her. She also came with some aviator sunglasses, which definitely make the look. So that's Boo. Speaking of happy girls, Here is Miss Stevie. Her middle name's actually Too, T-O-O, because she is the second doll I've named Stevie that I've had, and she shares the same happy baby essence that the first one had. So Stevie is the Lisa sculpt by Lindy Shearer. She is 0 to 3 month size baby. She has 3/4 inch limbs, so both her legs and her arms are cloth at the top, which makes, and it's jointed, so very, very posable and floppy. Can't do sleeveless or, you know, diaper shots with her, but small price to pay. She was a custom doll that I requested. I requested that she be made in a very newborn, more of a newborn look. This kit is frequently done as a toddler. I requested her eyes be slightly offset the way that they are to capture this look. She was also reborn by Clare Campbell. She was the first custom that I ordered from Clare. The artist did go ahead and make 2 more versions of Lisa that are identical to this one that were purchased by another collector in the community. So you may now see a few of them floating around. But she is a doll that I wanted done this way for about 4 years and finally got her done. And she came out exactly the way I wanted her. She has very lightly painted hair. If you look closely, I won't be able to capture it in this lighting with this camera set up, but her hair, if you look close up, you can see where certain ones kind of cross over each other. It's got a very 3D effect, and it definitely lends itself to that young baby look. She's got really beautiful fair skin with a mottled complexion. That is, again, it's not subtle, but it's not, it's appropriate for a baby that's not freshly born. So exactly what I was looking for. And definitely she is a favorite, a fan favorite in my collection. So that's my Stevie girl. Since I said my Stevie girl, let me show you my girl. This is Amity. Actually been in my collection the longest. Amity is the Tayra sculpt by Gudrun Legler. She was reborn by, I call her Elena Lily. She started going by, I think, her full last name now, but she is from Belarus, I believe. And I adore her. Absolutely adore her. So she is about 23 inches. She wears a 3 to 6 month size. She also has 3/4 limbs. And she has lots of excellent mottling and detail that may not be showing up on the camera. She also has these gorgeous blue eyes and freckles. Hold on, let me get you. And little rosy cheeks, and her eyebrows are, this is really the signature style for Elena. Those eyebrows. If I see those eyebrows, I'm pretty certain I know who the artist is on the dolls. Oops, excuse me. And she's got some nice little details of blemishes and stuff on her face. Amity, I knew the moment that I saw her that I had to figure out a way to bring this doll home. And have never for 1 second regretted it. Considered selling her. Cannot imagine parting with her. Oops, excuse me. For whatever reason, she's my Velveteen Rabbit, so to speak. I love her. I love her shocked little look. She's just incredibly realistic to me. She sits on the hip really nicely for pictures holding the dolls, and she's traveled with me a couple times. Amity Sol, S-O-L. She is my girl, like I said. You see her profile. Look how cute. My sweetheart. And she is rocking this retro tomboy outfit from Kate Quinn. And her hair is smoshed and in clips right now, but she has beautiful curls. Kind of smoshed them down with the clips. But her curls do curl up. It's a little bit more sparsely rooted. A little bit, yeah, it's a different kind of hair than Siggy has, but similar curl level when I curl it up. And she can wear these little mini pigtails. She can wear barrettes. Mom's not always the best with hair on the fly, but super cute. All right, for this next one, I'm giving you a warning. This baby is pretty new to my collection. I got her secondhand this year. She has not had a box opening, and she is an alternative reborn. It's a zombie baby. So look away, skip ahead if you get creeped out by it, because she's pretty dang realistic. Here we go. Ta-da! Okay, this is Sophia. I've named her Sophia Achlys. So Sophia was Carol's daughter on The Walking Dead, season 1. Spoiler alert, ended up getting zombified. Her artist is, the nursery is Campbell Creations. I think her first name is Carla. And I did buy her from another collector off of Reborns not too long ago. I remember when Campbell Creations made this doll. She's made from the Saskia kit, of course, by Bonnie Brown, which is another timeless, iconic sculpt created by Bonnie Brown. And as soon as I saw her, I was like, I would be stupid to let this doll pass. Her rooting is unbelievable. The hair is incredible. I would not be surprised if this is human hair. I'm not too sure. Beautiful brown hair. She has these, how would you say that, clouded over eyes? Yeah, that zombies are frequently depicted to have. Incredible detail. She has a split lip. She's got scratches on her face on both sides, 3 and 2. She has a zombie bite with the veins. You can see it's wraps around her calf. I'm creating a shadow here, but let's see. I'm going to twist her leg a little bit so you can see. You can see like bruising, and you can see the infection spreading, or where it has spread. And Achlys, that name, her middle name, means the death cloud. It represents the cloud that comes over the eyes around the time of death. So because of the eyes, and this is her little bunny. Absolutely freaking love this doll. She is so cute and as realistic as a zombie can be. She's so lifelike, if that can be. All of her painting is just on point with the veins and the mottling, and it's just very, very amazingly done. She has applied eyelashes that work really well. Her eyebrows are painted phenomenally. The inside of her mouth's kind of purple and red. And believe it or not, she's a complete sweetheart. She sits here in my office permanently in my big throne-like purple velvet chair so that I can see her while I work. So that's Sophia. And why not follow up the creepy doll with overwhelming cuteness? This is Walter Montgomery. Walter is the Lil Jude sculpt, also by Laura Tuzio Ross, same sculptor that made Cameron, who was George, who I showed you earlier. And he was also made by the same artist that George was made by. He was a custom order done by Clare Campbell. I pretty much have loved every version of this sculpt that I've ever seen. And I wanted this fair skin tone. I wanted this style of painted hair, so for me, Clare was the obvious choice. He is a tiny little guy. He wears a newborn, but he is a small newborn. It would be a bit big for preemie, but so a larger preemie, small newborn. He has these fabulous ears that stick out. We're starting to get a shift in the way the light is in this room, so I'm trying to fidget with it to keep the babies lit well for you. He looks super cute sitting up too, even though he is a tiny little guy. Let me see if I can get you that shot so you can do such adorable posing with him. Sitting up. He is a little pipsqueak. Super adored little munchkin. And he did have a box opening on here. He arrived this year. So that's Walter, you guys. Also really, really great 3D painted hair. As mentioned before, I really prefer rooted hair, but I found myself with quite a few painted hair babies and definitely have no like discrimination against the painted hair, I guess. I love them incredibly much. So there's Walter. Here's my shy girl. This is Billie Wilde. She has spunk and personality for days. She is a full body silicone, also by Jorja Pigott. I made some very shocking selling decisions to bring this girl home, actually. And because I decided I really wanted an open-eyed silicone. I bought her sister after, Audrey, who I showed you earlier. This is the girl that I chose, and then I had seen Audrey when I was shopping on Jorja's page and, went back for her. But this is Billie. Billie has an open mouth, open eyes. She's got brown glass eyes with a little bit of moisture in them. Tears, looks like tears. She has full armatures in her legs, in her arms, all the way into her wrists. So you can bend the hands down too. So I try not to overdo it, but I also try to enjoy them. She also has armatures in her legs. So she can have this little straight leg up in the air. She can get super curly and curl up. She's got the most adorable little belly button. So Audrey, I didn't show you. Audrey is a very kind of thin build, and Billie is a bit more chunky. So with Audrey, you can see her, like the outline of her rib cage. With Billie, has a shorter torso and just the cutest little belly button. I love her. I love her so much. Depending on the light, her skin tone is different. I have pictures of her in natural lighting. She looks full-on Caucasian. I have evening indoor picture lighting where she seems to have some Hispanic kind of skin tones. And then sometimes she can look purple. It just depends on the lighting and the time of day. Look at that face, you guys. Her little chipmunk cheeks, the way that she's got the rosiness around her eyes and right under her eyes. For whatever reason, I absolutely love her. Oh, let's tell you her sculpt. She is the Brie sculpt. Of course, Jorja Pigott. She's completely created by Jorja and at Pigott's Playpen. Bought direct from the artist. And she makes me smile. And every time I see her or pick her up, I say something to her, which, yep, we know they're dolls and all that stuff, but I'm tickled by her. Absolutely adore this baby. So that's Billie. My box opening for this little man was the most recent video before this one. And he is, he is the newest in. Completely adored. I have not changed him yet out of the little bodysuit, the happy onesie he came home in from his previous mom. This is the Anastasia kit by Olga Auer. And the artist is Jageda or Hageda. Again, last name, completely have never seen or heard of the artist before. So I will post their information in the description. She is on Facebook and Instagram. I think it is like a Blueberry Nursery or something like that is the profile. But anyhow, so Anastasia by Olga Auer. Many of you will remember Murphy, who I did sell in some of my, let me compensate my doll decisions that I've made for myself. But this kit, I've had multiple blanks. My last one was a custom, who is now with another collector who absolutely adores her. I love this kit as a boy, you guys. And I wish that I was happier with the lighting. But he's phenomenally painted. He has a lot of newborn detail. So he's got a lot of mottling. You will have seen that if you saw the box opening. He's weighted beautifully with a nice floppy head. I love the pouty lips on the Anastasia kit sculpt. And I think I may actually even prefer the sculpt as a boy. I love it. I love it both ways. I've seen a lot of amazing versions of the sculpt. Something about the cheeks and the pouty lips does it for me. I haven't changed his hairstyle either, the way that it's parted since I brought him home, but I wanted to make sure to share him with you guys. His name, I've named him Bastian, which is from Neverending Story, a favorite name for, since childhood. It is nicknamed sometimes for Sebastian, but his name is Bastian. Call him Bash a little bit as a nickname. Doesn't currently have a middle name. May or may not add one. I don't know why it matters to have them, but I typically do. But I guess I'm lightening up a little bit. So far, that's just how I see him, is just this Bastian. Scrumptious, scrumptious baby. This tiny little pip is my Brewster Primrose, what I named her, but she's a Florisculpt by Priscilla Lenara Lopez. She happens to be a prototype, but I bought her because I loved her. Actually, there were 12 prototype versions of this sculpt, and I loved pretty much all of them. I loved her as much as any of my favorites out of that batch. She's a petite little newborn, and she was actually reborn by a pair of artists that together form a nursery called Drika Dolls. She is unfortunately a victim of our changing afternoon sun position. Let's see if I zoom in if you can see her features a bit better. Oh yeah, it's absolutely terrible quality, but I do have some really good videos of her up on YouTube already. My last one was pretty good, but you can see her tiny little mouth. I'm not sure what happened there. And she's got little baby fine hairs painted. Let's see how the camera keeps switching the lighting around. Can't get a good read. She's a very petite newborn sized baby. She's incredibly sweet and peaceful. And of course has this gorgeous red hair. And hopefully you got a good look at her coloring with a different zoom level, but she's newer too. I mean, a lot of my dolls, most of them are pretty dang new into my collection. I've changed over a lot. Absolutely adore her. She kind of sits in the Moses basket that's in a stand that also has a nursing pillow in it with several blankets on top. So she's in this very cushy sort of pedestal setup, and she just looks like a little tiny princess. She's wearing this very faint pink gingham pattern pinafore dress and looking like a little dream. And last but certainly not least, is my little Amelia. So a lot of you know Veda, who was my custom Amelia, dream girl. Actually sold her as part of my decision to get Billie when I decided that I wanted to have a silicone doll. In my efforts to be responsible, she's with one of my best friends in the community, Tracy. She is, you know, my ultimate Amelia, but she is loved and in a new home. So, but I just love this sculpt so much. And I did her box opening as my second to last video. I found this doll on Reborns.com, and I was on the fence, but really something drew me to her. I found her very pretty, and when she arrived, as you can see in the box opening, I really actually love this doll. I love this baby. She's a timeless, graceful sculpt, the Amelia sculpt. She is long sold out. She's very hard to find. In fact, there's a kit available online right now, a blank kit for going for just under $1,200. The way this doll is painted, she's got kind of a unique color palette in some areas. And to my eye, more so than the camera even right now, she's got very light purple hues on her eyelids and on her upper lip, and most interestingly on the palms of her hands. So those were the things that gave me pause. But you know, sometimes, and her feet too are purple, like, you know, just very kind of newborn but distinct. But one of the things that happens sometimes is that you just love the entirety of a doll, or a baby, or however you see it. And this is a case of that. I definitely was very, very happy when I received her, and I'm still really happy with her. She's just got just an awesome energy about her. Her little haircut, as I mentioned, reminds me of Rosemary, and when Mia Farrow played Rosemary in Rosemary's Baby, and she cut her hair partway through her pregnancy. She just reminds me of that. Somewhere along the way, one of her owners pierced her ears. I don't know if she came that way from the artist. I will have to post the artist's information in the description, because I was not familiar with the artist and haven't had luck in finding her, but I believe she was made in Germany. And I did name her, so I gave her a first name that begins with H because of a specialized pacifier that her last mom had made for her. That says H because she had an H name there too, not sure what it was. Everybody put some really great suggestions in the comments section. I've read every H name available on the internet, and I'd kind of already settled on something by the time I posted her box opening, kind of close to what some of the suggestions were. But so her first name is Haiti, or Hetty. American pronunciation is Hetty. If you go to the UK, it's Haiti. But Hedy, and it means like sweet, like very sweet, delicate one. And then her middle name is Rosemary, but I'm calling her Ro. She just, Ro is what Rosemary's husband called her in that movie. And just like, that's what I've been calling her since I saw her photos. So I did order a new body for her today. She is on front, so I talked about this a bit in her box opening. It is a front-loading body with the 3/4 arms. Amelia has 3/4 arms. I believe it's either the style of the body or the size of the body is just a bit small for the limbs. So I ordered Bountiful Baby one that about a 20-inch, 19 to 20 inch when the doll is finished, with the gathered bum and chest, and it is a sectioned or segmented in terms of like a paneled body. The space between the leg, where the legs go, is wider. And I figured out what was happening. It wasn't a side-loading body, but the space between the legs was very, very small. So those, like, you know, the flanges or whatever, so the legs down here, and then you have with the ridge where the zip tie goes, you know, her knees really can't go together because the leg flanges are pressing together, because that space between the openings for the legs is very small. And so I was able to figure out that that's the difference between my my Veda and this doll. So super easy fix, just gonna put her on a new doe suede body from Bountiful Baby. And then I'll get that full posing ability that I love with the Amelia, which is to roll her on her side and her little knees come together. And that's my darling Amelia. So that's my Reborn collection right now, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I mentioned that I do have another alternative Reborn that's coming that is just not quite done yet, and I didn't want to wait any longer, so he'll have a special reveal when he arrives. He won't be everyone's cup of tea, but man, he's going to be awesome. So he already has a special setup and everything waiting for him whenever his artist gets the time and inspiration to complete that doll. He'll be joining. Hope you enjoyed seeing all my babies. This took longer than I thought. We're going to go enjoy the rest of Sunday. Hope you're enjoying your weekend as well. We are sending out lots of love. And bye for now.